Good morning, Alex here, coming in from an overcast UK, as it seems to be every day. Um, so this morning, before I press go live, I was pondering what I might do this morning or what I've got to do this week musically, and I actually have no idea. So I thought, well, I'll just start streaming anyway. I've got various things at any one time that I could work on. But really, I wanted to kind of just demonstrate that. I'm sure there are plenty of you out there who have similar moments where you've just kind of not sure what to do, and you've got various things you could work on. You've probably got lots of tracks you've already started that you were really excited about, and now you kind of I'm not sure what to uh, not sure what to do with them, or how to kind of stay motivated to finish them or to move them forward or whatever. So I think some days are just like that. Some weeks are like that, where you've got various projects that perhaps it's like spinning plates. Things are all moving, and there are different points in the process. And usually, so there's I'll just get rid of myself. There's lots of stuff I've been working on. A lot of which is I've been working on stream. So I think first of all, like I just want to get an overview of what I've got going on creatively, musically, and uh, I know this track, Dreams, that I think I'd done some mixing on that. I think I'm just going to sketchbook that because it's just been hanging around for a while, and I don't think I want to release that, at least not yet. Uh, then I've also got these kind of done tracks, which I'd like to kind of do something with them as a five. So whether that's um, put them out on, release them myself, or maybe send them to some people. I mean, I've kind of like just nothing VIP about these because I've just worked on them on stream really. Same with these. This track Survey was a bit unusual, and I think I might just put that out as it is. I might just put it on SoundCloud or something. I don't know. So, many options at every point in the process. Do I do this? Do I add this? Do I take this away? Do I compress this? Do I EQ this? Do I release this here? Do I do this? Do I do that? Blah blah blah. Just never ending really. It just seems like a never ending piece of admin at times. So yeah, so also it feels like I'm kind of these tracks, these five, they're obviously there were more that I started around the same time. So yeah, I started quite a few tracks, kind of did quite a lot on stream and off stream. So these ones are the dates here, September. There was a time where I was like splurging almost like 5 times a day or something, if not more. I've kind of my splurge rate has dropped down a bit of late, but that's okay. It kind of ebbs and flows, and I've built up quite a vast sketchbook over the last few years of material that I can always dig into at any time if I'm stuck for ideas. Although I'm rarely stuck for ideas. It's more that I don't want to repeat myself. I'm kind of keen to be uncomfortable, trying new things, and it feeling really quite sticky and uncomfortable and out of my comfort zone. And I definitely want to explore more kind of writing within a live context, so almost like making a live set, and that being my sketch, that pad, or my tools for sketching, and using that live set, that live framework as my instrument. So yeah, this morning I could work on something old. I could move something along. I could work on one of these pieces, these discover pieces, where there's potential for it to be a bit to explore different options as to what I might do there. I could start something new. I could work on a I could work on a break or something like that. I am tempted to. I've been listening to a lot of Square Pusher and Aphex, Drux era stuff, and a lot of stuff feels like it's percolating in my mind at the moment, and I'm kind of not sure what to do about it or what route to take with it. That usually means that there's a lot of experimentation or I'm gonna have a breakthrough of some sort. That's normally what that's a sign of. It just can feel quite unusual while you're in this kind of creative phase of like bewilderment, shall we say, where you're just like, you know, I don't I don't know what's going to come of this and how it's going to look necessarily, and whether I'll even end up achieving what I feel is like percolating in my subconscious. But anyway, we'll have to see what comes. It's to do with breaks and like the more and really digging into sampler stuff and like and generative stuff with sampler and the LFOs within sampler. The kind of stuff Ned Rush does on his channel quite a lot, but kind of making it my own and fusing it with the kind of thing I do already with breaks in like drum racks and stuff, and that kind of really quite composed follow actions based thing. And um, I don't know, it feels like I could do that on stream or off stream. It just feels like it might just be a catastrophic failure if I just mess around with it on stream, but I guess that is just the point of it. Or at least the point of why I set out to do these things was just to be like, it's all just a big work in progress and experiment. Uh, 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 uh. You, how are we doing? Yeah, that's good, man. You're in Canada, aren't you? Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm doing this morning, really, but yeah, I try and stream as much as I can, and then life normally gets in the way. As much, I kind of make time for streaming, but yeah, look, there's something happens with the kids, or just my weekends up slightly different, or I don't necessarily get time in the morning to do it. Yeah, that's cool, man. It's good to have you on before bedtime. So if you're stuck for something to do, like I make drum processing. Well, maybe that's something to. I think my get creative with effects. It's got some good. I think all New Year amens. I do some quite interesting stuff on that. I seem to remember. I tend to keep my drums stuff quite simple, really. Um, so I might have a break that I've chopped or something. Um, like an amen or something. So that sounds like I've already processed that. Um, this one particularly, the purple one or the golden one. The golden one, I've done a. It looks like I don't know what I've done here. Why is that so long? Okay, it's just the end of the break. So here I've literally just pulled these across. It's probably the break itself. Okay, it isn't the break itself. So with this, I know what I would have done here. I can tell you. Let's pull this in, and I'll show you. You can watch this afterwards. So what I like to do is I like to use the channel EQ often. I like to use the channel EQ because my theory is that people, when they were first doing this, producers, when they were first putting these breaks in and like chopping them up and they might have only had access to like a DJ mixer or something with a free band EQ like this, rather than a big fancy Pro Q, Fab Filter, whatever. You know, they'll probably just have like some, or they might have even had a guitar pedal or something like that, you know, something really basic with a low, mid, high. And then I just kind of like, I like to scoop it, and I usually scoop it about there or something, 410. It's not always the same. Right, so it's quite a scoop now. You can boost the low, boost the high, maybe not scoop it that much. And then I just compress it quite heavily, you know, really smash it. And then I'll blend it back in, a bit parallel. And of late, I like the RX 950. I think that sounds really good. But you can get comparable things with Redux. In fact, I might just kind of do... I'm going to do this because I really do like the sound of it. I think it's worth getting. Brilliant, Snob. So have a look at the gain here, make sure I'm not like kind of just messing about with things too much. Okay, so that's that gain. Not scoop it a bit more maybe. And that's how I would have done it. That's kind of literally all I do. Maybe pull the brilliance down. This is great for kind of like authenticity, this sound of it running through a... Even pull the bass down a bit, might be too loud there. Might even mono it before I do that. Then I'd print that. I'd resample that and then chop that. So we've gone from that to that. Very simple, really. Less is more, because more you squash it, the more when you listen back to it, it's just like you want to retain a bit of the air and dynamic range of the original break. For sure. Otherwise, it just sounds like really squashed, and there's no like dynamic movement to it. I like a bit of dynamism in my music. I don't like things ultra compressed and squashed. Just like, to me, I can hear sounds when they're too straight. Sometimes it sounds really good, you know, and it's the right thing to do. But you can always add more. You can always make it more distorted or more compressed or whatever, you know. Like that. You can even do like 2 of those or something. But that's really just like kind of overkill then. Morning, Jarson. Yeah, man, I do. There's a kind of a lot of them. Once that's processed, yeah, once that's processed, I will then put them in a drum rack and do stuff like that. And then really it is by ear that I'll put these loops together. I can't even remember doing these. So that, like, things like those pitch rolls will be just automated in by hand. I'll draw those. And then I kind of just have fun until I get bored of doing all those. Yeah, you can. So you can own. I kind of have to like have multiple instances of the same hit, like processed differently. Then just make sure in the envelope section that you're in the drum, you're doing automation and not modulation, and that like you particularly watch to make your own preset thing. Yeah. Yep. And so yeah, it all does get a bit granular, really. That, for instance, that pitch roll you were hearing. I think it's here. So this different warping modes have different like, so if you've got a sound that's in repitch mode, you can't modulate the pitch. Beats, you can do that. So I might have a separate snare that is just a snare. I will then automate the pitch on that hit alone. So it's a bit like you'd be doing the same thing in a tracker. It would just be running vertically. I think this is the kind of thing with like trackers are definitely like, yeah, there's some good stuff you could do with trackers, but to me it's just like you can do the same thing in Ableton. It's just that it's linear and there's a bit more diving into the envelopes and stuff. Yeah, glad that made sense, man. Yeah, but like it's a lot like it's quite finicky and hard. So I'll often have sessions like where I just yeah, you're not the first person to ask that actually. Someone else was having the same issue. So yeah, so it's kind of like if you can't make it work on one sound for some reason, try and copy it to a different pad. And yeah, I reckon the chop and amen, chop and amen. My how to like drilling amens in Ableton Live, or like how to chop an amen in Ableton Live. Um, and then chop and chill, anything that's called chop and chill, I do quite a lot of stuff on those on my channel. Chop and chill. Put it in the chat and you can see how I do it like that. And I usually do like, I've done some amens in those and stuff like that, where I just literally have a session. So I can hear the processing on that. Like, let's try. Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry. I honestly, I'm glad you did because I didn't have anything else to do. That's good. I'm glad. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's kind of I learn as much doing it myself. I feel like I'm a bit of a middle ground between. I feel like uh, every now and then, every now and then I have periods where I'm like I feel a bit not stumped for ideas. I feel like something's percolating, something bigger is coming, and it's yeah. So, but for now, yeah, that's definitely it's you can do many things with the drum racks as well, and maybe that is something I'll do for the rest of the session now because I'm kind of in the flow here. So thank you for or your question, for helping me think of something to do. So I kind of like this break this morning. There's some Jungle Warfare. It's got like it's just a loop of the same thing. So I'm going to put in some markers here for chopping into a drum rack. Get rid of this final marker. Yeah, cheers you too. Night night, man. Hey Jason, how you doing? You're still up as well then. What is it? Is it coming up late? Are you a night owl? So I'm up quite early. Yeah, it's 8:20 in the morning here before I start work, before I start my day job. Okay. Yeah, I was a bit stumped what to do this morning, but yeah, yeah, of course you are, man. Yeah, get to bed. Don't blame you. Nice to see you on here though. Yeah, I'm glad you was asking a question. Thank you. Yeah, as ever. Yeah, just more amen stuff, but. So it's quite interesting you get those flanding effects. It's all a bit carnagey at the moment, but yeah. So I'm gonna chop this break. I am going to try some stuff out on it. This is a bit of an experimentation. So I'll put this at messing about in Ableton. That's one thing. One of my playlists. So essentially, what I'm wanting, like if anyone follows Ned Rush, I'm sure a lot of you do. The circa '96, the kind of jungle in a drum rack thing. There's some really interesting things with going on in that. It's a lot of things actually. It's multiple things like listening to. I keep coming back to My Red Hot Car by Square Pusher and being. It's just the way the breaks are put together in that. They're kind of this lovely middle ground between kind of. I just don't, just the way they're done, and it kind of I always come back to it as a bit of a touch, like as a bit of like a touch point or a fetish as to how the fuck that's happening, how on earth he's doing those things. I was listening to it in the car over the weekend, like. I think the first thing is working out what the sounds are. So I know in that track we've got you've got the worm break, you've got the think break, and you've got the amen. And the tempo is reasonably slow. Everything's quite staccato. That's the thing that does it for me, and that's quite hard to achieve. It's hard to achieve when you've got other sounds happening at the same time. Like there's bits where there's a delay on the snare, kind of really dubbed out snare hit that is just as long as you hear it's gated effectively by the other sounds. So it's all these ideas that are kind of making me think, well, how would I approach that? I don't want to copy it. I want to understand the kind of technique so I can apply it to my own music making. So if I preserve warp timing off, I can always turn it off, can't I? So I'm going to keep it on. This is then sliced to transient. I'm going to do a bit of renaming here. Big snare. So sometimes a bit back to and froing. Like, do I want that double hit? Do I literally want the I'm gonna leave it in for now. Kind of like a snare double, isn't it? That like. Oh, I'm gonna call that a ghost snare. Kick, nice kick, choke kick. Lots of snares in this one. Yeah. Do you mean in the like between notes, or in like this, or with the between the? I guess you do, because I just did that, but I don't want that little clip at the end. That's probably, yeah, yeah. So what I can't, it's like a little roll, isn't it? So there we go. We've got our. So a lot of Red Hot Car sounds like that, or a combination of that and stuff like that. But it's then the combination of, and maybe it is all just in MIDI. It's a combination of stuff like that, and then stuff like that. Yeah, I do love that. Like, it's how like Square Pusher goes from that to the more sustained sounds. So it's almost like, you know, just other ways of building phrasing into the sound itself, you know. Stuff like that, yeah. You know, pulling those envelopes up. Yeah, it is, and I think it's like, so you can do this like you can do hit by hit, chop by like hit by hit, like I've done here, or you can do, or then you could also have the same thing in the drum rack, and then I don't want that like that. Like, we can copy this across, got our kick, and we can just pull it in, and maybe even could take the, and this is where I started to think of that circa 96 set, Jason, and you would have definitely seen this, like, if you've got it. We can then there's different portions of the drum, like essentially the whole set's in the drum rack, you know. So we've got that as well in there. So it's like, yeah. So it's a combination of these really. Maybe we can. I'm going to duplicate this one. Delete all the envelopes. Go back on my notes here. Gato style. One thing that's like definitely stood me in good stead was like playing with a drummer for a long number of years. Because I always think of my mate Chris when I'm like my drummer friend. So maybe even having that. That was quite nice, that little ghost in there. And of course drawing in some of these nice little my Okay, so we got these clips here, and then it would be, and what's this one do? Going into my envelopes again. What you hear. Alright, so they're kind of all different, they've all got different envelope stuff going on. Yeah, that's kind I feel like so earlier on, Jason, before you came on, I feel like I'm in this, like, in this period. You probably get it in your own music making as well, where you'll hit a really creative vein, and you'll be really onto a sound, you'll be really onto a vibe, and you'll just push all this stuff out, and then the stuff's done, the stuff's come out, and you kind of feel like it's a cohesive thing, and it's come to an end, and you've the process is finishing, and that's definitely what I feel with a lot of tracks I've worked on recently on stream. Then it feels like, what next? I guess it's a what next thing, and I've got lots of things I'd like to try, and lots of things I've been messing around with in Ableton, and I kind of feel like I want to do a more IDM, for want of a better term, or I want to try these new things, and I want to try and incorporate them into my music, and not just to repeat myself. I think that's kind of the worst thing you can do, really, isn't it? Or not the worst thing, yeah. you want to incorporate new things. I don't want to just copy people and like yeah. Um, I don't want to necessarily sound like Square Push or Aphex or whoever, but it's the kind of musical idea that I'm into, like you know the how the drums are just there's just so much variation. It is a jazz thing. I was watching like Whiplash again recently, and just like how like getting that drum sound, the kind of I mean, Square Pusher does it so well, and I think the thing that separates him apart, of course, is like his melodic sensibility as well. He's also like a brilliant composer. He's a brilliant compositional mind and a brilliant instrumental mind. And it's like, yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I think. You always learn something from just trying to emulate it. Uh, so maybe if we have the follow actions here. Another thing is like trying to put swing in these things, seeing if like swing into chopped up breaks. Like thinking of Red Hot Car, the amen sound like they're almost swung or something. For the grooves now, so this is all moved about a bit. Yeah, it's. I want to toe the you toe the line between. Um, yeah, could do, couldn't it? Maybe a bit more. It's not too bad, is it? Actually, I think there could be something there. Okay, but I definitely think follow actions are. There's a lot of potential there, particularly when you're working with audio as well. Um, yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? It's all right. I think there's definitely something there, isn't there, to like. Especially when you duplicate those and then these latter ones, you then maybe you start from a different point. That can be quite interesting. Or you can, of course, change the follow action. So you might have them start a bar, or like even on a quaver, an eighth note later. Maybe even something like here. And then they're looping from a different start point, so just gives them. It could be terrible. I've not got it on other, which is what I want. Other. Dan, is it? That's embarrassing, isn't it? Oh, sorry about that, man. I've stopped saying Jason. Where did that come from? Maybe there was another Jason on the call. Oh God, what? Yeah, sorry about that, mate. Sorry about that, Dan. Enshrined forever in YouTube. Well, nice to have you on. Yeah, you are Jason. If your name's not yeah. If your name's not Dan, you're not coming in. If you don't, God, that just shows you how I was probably half cut by that time. I was probably quite drunk by that point. But yeah. Your name's not Dan, you're not coming in. Yeah, no, nice to have you on, Jason. If you can, I normally stream about this time, Monday and Tuesday. And then I'd definitely stream every day, and I do have the time, but then normally, what it's like with children and stuff, life gets in the way, and you end up having to kind of rejig things. So, yeah. Yeah, nice to have you on, man. Hit the hay, and I'll see you around. Yeah, cool. All right then. Good to have you, man. Salute. Yes. Okay. Right. So maybe we can have this doing. This can have this can have something on it here. Not down. So. I want to do this with a chain thing, just in case I want to do. So I'm going to map this to here. Could do it with velocity switching and it would be random, but I kind of want to keep the velocity in there if I want to use it. So there we go. So that's there, and I might use the expression control here because this is. I mean, you could just use an LFO, but this means it will happen only every time. I don't know how CPU intensive this thing is. So every time it gets MIDI. Okay, so it's carrying on, isn't it? Which is not what I want. I want it to just be like that. Get rid of you. Take it back here. What to do? Get rid of you. Okay. Not even a. Isn't it? Not even an effects thing. Okay, essentially I'm trying to emulate I want this to go to a what I want to happen is occasionally when the snare hits, it's getting sent to a delay, but the delay is gated so that so we're choking these things here. Don't want it carrying on. I just want it to be like a single hit. That's the kind of thing you could almost do with follow actions afterwards. But how do we do it in here? And maybe I could pull an echo in. This is on the snare hit here. So if a good quote I heard recently, if you're not uncomfortable, you're doing it wrong. And applied to art or creative endeavors, like if it feels like you just know what you're doing and I mean, in the creative moment, you want to be effortless by all means, but like I think if it kind of feels like you're just not sure what's happening, that's a good sign that you're probably pushing yourself a bit. Learning is fine. It definitely takes time to learn and to experiment. You don't, right, the delay carries on going if it's like I'm trying to create a send in here. I'm thinking how best for me to do that. Because that's just carrying on. I don't want that carrying on because I don't want this. I'm going to do either. You can also map it to the chain thing. For it to be 0 B. maybe not that much. 100%, 99%. You might have bits where it's like let's take our break here. I'll duplicate this. Oh, and you could even, I mean, you can draw this stuff in. That seems like a bit mental to do that, but maybe we can try that. I want the feedback to be higher than that. Ah. Okay, it's crude. It's really crude, and I'd want to do some more. What I find happens is I might come up with a solution to create a sound, and then over time I refine it. Because I'm sure there's a more refined way of doing that, you know. Definitely a more refined way of doing that. It's kind of like comparable to my Red Hot car though. It might work quite well with we have all of these. Okay. All right, that feels like I've got results there. I've got something to percolate on over time. Sometimes it just feels like you are repeating. This is the benefit of daily practice, is that if you do the same thing every single day, and you're kind of listening to what you're doing, the results you're getting, and looking for new ways that you can expand on it. I think music is like stepping stones, really. You know, you put your stone in front of you, and you take a step onto it, and then you're a little bit further, and you can cast your next stepping stone out, and really it's a series of small steps over big periods of time sometimes, where it seems like you're making no progress, and then you look back and you're like, God, I've come quite far actually. I could have never done this at that, you know. Even just if you have this clip and then you have another one, maybe that starts a quaver later. Mad the variation you can get. And that's all just the same clip. They're just starting at different times, you know. Mental. I don't think it works as well when you start it. It works well when you start it quavers at different points. Vary the offset. Mental, and that is all. They're the same. They're the same clip, 2 bars long, and you're literally just varying, using follow actions to vary the start. In fact, we can look at the MIDI and how the MIDI is being thrown out from that. In fact, we'll just record, because the clips will record. Okay, yeah, cool. So even those MIDI clips and the variation is just never consistent. It will always be different. And you can combine those, and I think there are some moments where things are a bit short like that. You get rid of that, or you could make them a bit longer or something. Maybe even like do that. Hey, Randy, how you doing, man? I mean, it's a bit erratic at points, but you could just do another take really, and just look for the bits that are working, and maybe even the same, the same with this clip here. If you did the same thing, and you just started it a quaver later, and there may even be a way you can just like, you could. I don't think you can play with the clip offset when it's in MIDI. Do the same thing, start that there, and maybe start that a bit further along, like here or something. Yeah, man. Are you been working? I think these have all got swing on them. Make those happen quicker. Make them happen on freeze, and that would be really glitchy. Kind of like twos. 2 and 2 measures like that. It can be too glitchy sometimes. I mean, how about we have like play again? I think sometimes it's about finding the right combination of very subtle elements. Yeah, man, tell me about it. I slept terribly last week. Yeah. Yeah, catering is punishing. Yeah, this is wicked. I like that a lot. Although I'd probably want to have these in re-pitch mode. I could listen to that all day actually. Yeah, man. It's 9 to 5 is good, really. Or yeah, that is good. I'm really quite happy where that's going in terms of right. I didn't do this last time and I regretted it, so I'm going to save it. Before 4th of April, yeah. Yeah, unless so what I'm thinking I might do here, I'm just keep mindful of the time, and I would probably. I'm thinking of maybe an LFO to switch between the slices. And have them on different warp things here, and have the random, have it as like off kilter. One as repitch and one as beats. What I'm thinking here is having the expression control and mapping that. Huh? Got rid of it though, didn't I? No LFO there anymore. There it is. Every time a MIDI note comes in here, it will change the kick. What's it? Okay, cool. So there's different. pitch. I need to get rid of myself here so you can see what I'm doing. What I was thinking might be quite mad with this is if it's got like little fills and it does all the MIDI stuff on it. It's quite cool. I have to duplicate those, so they're doing that crazy bit, and these guys are doing like maybe eighth notes. works quite well at lower tempos. Especially that release up. Yeah, nice. Yes, that's sick. That is sick. I think that is definitely doing some of the things I want it to do. So let's put it in here. I like the swing that's happening occasionally as well. That's quite cool. I'm gonna keep progressing, keep progressing. Find where I want to put this. Okay, so I'm just literally chucking this in my presets, which is in my user library, and it's there. There's also messing around with the whiplash break. That could be quite a good one to mess around with. That's from Caravan off the film Whiplash. Really good. All right, yeah, I think I'm going to call it a day there. So I didn't really have an idea what I was going to do, and I have explored a bit more about what I might. What I'd also like to put some more stuff like the kind of you can switch. I won't get into this now, but you can switch these to samplers. Obviously, you can switch this to samplers like that, and then you can do mad things with the looping. Well, here, stuff like that. You know, granular stuff. Yeah, stuff like that. All right, we won't get into that now, but that's maybe for another time. So, oh no, not recording. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for everyone checking in. Jason, really nice to see you as well. Thanks for giving me some direction at the beginning. And yeah, I will catch you around.